Hey guys, what's up? Lightning here with another Team Fortress 2 commentary, and today we are playing as the sniper using the Huntsman, the strange Girardi, and the strange Bushwhacker. I've never really done a Huntsman gameplay on this channel, and for good reason. I suck using the weapon. It's one of my absolute favorite weapons in the game, but I am just pretty awful at this thing. I am pretty bad at arced weapons, and this is the king of arcing weapons. But you know what? I would normally spend the video talking about the Huntsman and why I like it, but I think I will save that for another time, another day. Maybe for a video near in the future, but there's actually something a little bit more important that I want to talk about today. And that would be related to the upcoming Team Fortress 2 update that Valve said is going to happen within the near future. If you are not aware, Valve released a blog post on the Team Fortress website saying that soon there will be a bunch of balance updates to maps and to weapons. Now this is kind of a big deal because there's been a lot of things that people wanted fixed in this game for years, and Valve is finally saying, hey, you know what, we need to fix this. This ain't cool, people don't like this, we gotta do something here. And among these changes, they said they are going to be fixing a lot of exploits on PL Badwater, among many other maps. And they are going to be fixing weapons like the Dead Ringer, and fixing item sets like the, I forget the name of it, but it's the one Crocodile set for Sniper that allows you to not get headshot, but it also means that you can't headshot the, other players. So they're going to be fixing things like these. And the topic of today's video is, what do you want to see fixed in Team Fortress 2? What do you think deserves a nerf, a buff, or just an all-around rework? Starting out with maps, there's really only one major thing I can think of right off the bat. The first thing that automatically came to my mind when I read about this update was CP Egypt. This thing has needed fixed for so long. If this update comes and goes and CP Egypt is still not fixed, I'm going to question everything I've ever stood for. Not, but I'm going to be questioning a lot. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there is an exploit on CP Egypt on the second point, where there is a pillar that you can stand on. You can sentry jump using your Wrangler, get up there, use the Rescue Ranger, or just build a teleport up there, or a teleport exit up there, and you can bring your sentry up onto the pillar, put a teleport exit up there, and allow your friends to put their sentries up there as well, making them nearly untouchable and very, very, very hard to take down. And this has always been a thing that's been a bit of a killjoy on this map, and I would really love to see that fixed. Although it is fun to pull off when you're doing it yourself, it's not so fun to fight when you're on the blue team. Now, I do have a lot more to say about weapons, more so than I do about maps, because I don't really pay all that much attention to map layouts. I don't notice a lot of the huge things when it comes to the maps, but I do notice a lot of the things when it comes to weapons. But if you guys have any suggestions for map fixes that you want to see, or that you hope to see in this update, feel free to comment below. Moving on now to weapons I would like to see fixed. I would actually like to see a buff for the Babyface's Blaster on the Scout, because let's face it, no one uses the frickin' thing. You jump once, and all that speed is gone. So what I would like to see them do is what I was hoping they were going to do from the get-go, the first thing that I had in my head when I heard about this weapon over a year ago, is that you jump once, and you lose half of your speed, meaning you're probably going to go at maybe just a little less than a normal Scout would. You jump twice, in other words do your double jump, and you lose all of your speed. I think this would make the weapon a little bit more usable, make it a little bit more viable for people to say, hey, you know what, I want to use the Babyface's Blaster and maybe, just maybe, have it be good. that weapon is, I don't know, I've already told you about my mixed feelings on that weapon. I made a video about it, yeah. Anyway, next thing on the list, I would love to see a bit of a rework. I apologize if you hear that. There is a massive truck going past my house. Anyway, so I would like to see a decent reworking of some stuff for the Pyro. Specifically, I think that the burn time lasts maybe just a bit too long on Pyro. I mean, let's be honest here. Pyro already does quite a bit of damage as it is, but the burn damage is just a bit much, or maybe even the burn time. Just burning in general, I think could use a little bit of a nerf. Because Pyro, even if he just hits you once and you're a scout, he does over 60 damage with just one puff of his ammo. I think that could use a little bit of a reworking, admittedly. I would also like to see some kind of change to the back murder, some kind of change to the Phlogistinator, and just a change in general to the Pyro flamethrowers to deter people from just going WM1 constantly. Next thing I would like to see fixed for the Pyro would definitely be the extinguisher. And the only reason I say this is that it's not necessarily overpowered, but there's just no reason to take it off. If you light someone on fire with your degreaser and you puff them up into the air and you hit them with the extinguisher, you are guaranteed 195 damage. That's enough to one-shot every single class in the game and take out a heavy in 2 shots. Granted, you will not one-shot a soldier, but going back to the whole thing that I said with burn time and burn damage, the soldier will only have 5 HP left after 1 hit of the extinguisher. So more or less it is enough to strike out every single class in the game. Now some might argue, well, this is the same thing with the Girardi Bushwhacker combo. I don't find it as bad with the sniper because the Girardi has to recharge. The Bushwhacker, the sniper could use some decent close-ranged defense. And like I said, the Girardi has to charge. The Pyro, he can just keep on spraying, and he can just keep on puffing, and he can just keep on hitting people with the axe. Another thing I would like to see reworked, similar to how the Gloves of Running Urgently work now, would definitely be the escape plan. Again, there is absolutely no reason to take this thing off, and I would certainly love to see some of the other soldier melees get maybe a bit of a buff. Make it so that the escape plan is not the absolute go-to melee for the soldier. Admittedly, I would also like to see the Thompson and the red tape recorder reworked, because let's face it, when it comes to what weapons would you like to see removed from the game entirely, most people either say the Phlogistinator, or the more popular choice is usually the red tape recorder and the Thompson. I'm not exactly sure what they could do to completely fix these weapons. In my opinion, they will always be a little bit broken. They just have way too much good about them. I mean, let's face it. The red tape recorder can bring a level 3 sentry down to level 2 in a matter of not less than a second, but in a matter of just a few seconds. That's a bit much, don't you think? And of course, the Thompson can take off 10% of a medic's uber charge, 1/10 of a medic's uber charge in one shot, gone. The medic has enough to worry about, let's face it. He even has the highest hitbox, or head hitbox of any of the classes. Believe it or not, that is actually true. Most people think that it's something like the heavy, but no, it is actually the medic that has the largest hitbox for headshots. He doesn't need to be worrying about engineers shooting the little Thompson shots and taking off 10% of his uber. It was a lot worse last year when it could still penetrate through enemies, meaning whoever you're healing could not take the shot for you. But I still would like to see this weapon reworked in the future. Maybe a way to fix the red tape recorder would definitely be to reduce the de-leveling time. I still would say that it's a bit broken and a bit overpowered, but at least it's a step in the right direction. As for the Thompson, maybe if it only took off 5% of a medic's uber charge, and a little bit less of the spy's cloak. Yes, the weapon also takes off the spy's cloak, keep in mind. I know it's supposed to be a weapon to protect engineers from their 2 biggest threats, being uber charges and spies, but it's a bit much. I mean, let's face it, the best way to protect yourself from spies and medics is to have a pyro right there with you. Take it from someone who mains engineer. The Thompson has never really served me too much. All it's done is just make people mad and made me feel like a cheap little douchebag. Because that's really not what you're supposed to be doing with it. Either way, that's really all that I can think of in terms of let's fix the game. I suppose maybe the Brass Beast could use a little bit of a reworking. Not sure how that would go about, but that would be nice. Maybe also the Natasha. The Tomislav could actually use a buff in the other direction. I'll admit, it was pretty overpowered when it first came out, but now I think it's just been pretty much nerfed to heck. But that's going to do it for this video. Let me know down in the comments what you think deserves a buff and a nerf. And I will see you guys next time for more Team Fortress 2. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.